Lumpy's Adventure, Episode 13. Lumpy woke up. It was cold. Blockface was still in the fire. Remarkably, it stayed burning all night long. "Well, good morning, Mr. Sleepy," Blockface said. "It was a very uneventful night, I'll tell you. Like I told you before, there's not really many bad guys around here." So Lumpy said, "Well, thanks for watching out for me. I really appreciate it. We should probably get going." "Yeah, sounds good." So they packed up and they started walking north, like they've been walking and traveling this whole time. "So, Blockface, I've been meaning to ask you, was that city, that little town that we went, was that the city that you thought we were talking about?" Maybe it was. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. We'll see." "What do you mean, we'll see?" "Well, I'll tell you when we get there if I've been there before." "Okay, fine." So Blockface and Lumpy walked and talked for what seemed like hours and hours. They lost track of time, and they found themselves walking through a dark forest with trees everywhere. "What about here? Have you been here before?" Can't say I have." All of a sudden, they heard a noise in the distance.
I don't know what that
It
was.
sounded like a sword hitting things. They went over to investigate. Blockface zoomed ahead through the trees, zipping through. "Over here, Lumpy!" And Lumpy ran over. He saw a knight swinging a sword around, fighting skeletons and creepers and zombies, all kinds of mobs. Lumpy thought, "I know, I can help." So he drew his sword, which was the sword of healing. And he thought, wait a minute, I don't have any other weapons other than the sword of healing? Where did all my weapons go? What am I thinking on this journey? Just then the knight turned and swung right at Lumpy. "Hey, I'm with you. I'm not a mob." "What?" This knight couldn't believe that he was talking to another person. "Well, here, take a sword and help me." They fought spiders and zombies and creepers. Must have been 3 hours because it started getting nighttime. They finally finished squishing the last spider. "Now come on, I'll take you to my fort." Lumpy chased this knight to a fort. Blockface just kind of watched the whole thing because, what's he going to do? So he goes to the fort of this knight and he says, "Well, hi, I'm Lumpy." "Well, it's nice to meet you. My name is Sir Joseph." "Wow, this is quite a fort you have, Sir Joseph." "Well, thank you. I'm out here on the Queen's errand." "Is that so?" "Yes, it is." "There's a queen around here?" "Oh, no. The queen is really far from here." "Well, which direction?" "I don't have my compass. Over there somewhere." Sir Joseph pointed a direction that was not north. "Okay. Well, what brings you out here?" Sir Joseph asked. "Well, it's funny you should ask. I've been having dreams, and I've met some very strange characters as I've been traveling, and I have this book." Uh-huh, Sir Joseph said. Meanwhile, Blockface decided to take his normal place in the fire, and it was the fire of a torch that was burning as they were talking. And it was right behind Lumpy's shoulder. While they were talking, all of a sudden, Sir Joseph drew his sword and said, "Look out! A blaze!" And he swung his sword right at the torch. "There's a face in that fire." "What?" Apparently, Blockface could be seen if he was in a fire. And Sir Joseph thought he saw a blaze. There's a blaze here! I just saw it! And I've never seen a blaze outside of the Nether. Well, I don't even know what a blaze is, said Lumpy. What's a blaze? Oh, they're terrible creatures. You find them in the Nether. What's the Nether? You don't know what the Nether is? Where are you from? I really don't know. I don't know much. But I know I don't know what a blaze is. And I know that that's not a blaze. That's my friend Blockface. You have a friend that's a blaze? No, he's not a blaze. He's a ghost. Blockface moved out of the fire. Well, where'd he go? Well, he's right there. Can't you see him? No, I can't see him. He's right there. Then Lumpy realized, wait, hey, Blockface, go back in the fire. So Blockface went back in the fire. There he is! There's the blaze! Get it! Sir Joseph was smashing every single torch as Blockface moved from torch to torch. All of a sudden, they were in the dark. It's dark in here. Lumpy said, yeah, it sure is dark in here. I told you that's a ghost, not a blaze. Then, because it was so dark, something else appeared. An Enderman appeared. Sir Joseph freaked out. Get it! It's an Enderman! And Lumpy said, no! And he picked up his sword of healing and held it up. And Lumpy swung, or Sir Joseph swung his sword and it hit the sword of healing. And there was a big flash of light. And Sir Joseph fell on the ground and Lumpy fell on the ground. And they both looked up. And Sir Joseph said, It's an Enderman, but it's like an Enderman I've never seen before. He's giant. And he's wearing a crown and it looks like an ender pearl. Lumpy said, don't worry, he's my friend. What? First you're friends with the blaze, now you're friends with an Enderman. Oh, well, let me explain. All of a sudden, the Enderman King said, I'll explain. But again, he spoke into the minds of Lumpy and Sir Joseph at the exact same time. Sir Joseph was shaking and sweating and almost crying because he was so scared that an Enderman was talking to him. Sir Joseph, Lumpy is my friend, and I am a peaceful Enderman. I am the king of the Endermen. Lumpy will tell you all about me and how he knows me later. But first, I must talk to Lumpy. Lumpy, I have discovered some things since you healed me. I have been able to travel to my kingdom once you lifted the curse. I do not have all of my power, but I have found out more information and I need your help. Far in the north, that map that I told you I could explain some things, I have time now to tell you. Far in the north is where you will find the entrance to my city. But before you do, you need to gather 12 Eyes of Ender. However, they will not be easy to gather. I will give you this ender pearl that is around my neck. It is not a normal ender pearl. It is an infinite ender pearl. It can never shatter, and unlike other ender pearls, it will not harm you if you use it. But remember, you can only use it so many times before it becomes fragile. When it becomes fragile, you must wait. You must wait 3 days before you can use it again. The eyes of the ender that I need you to obtain are special. That book that you have explains how to make eyes of the Ender, but these are different. I had 12 servants that helped me in my kingdom, and I need you to use the sword of healing on them. They are also under the spell. You'll encounter them because they wear necklaces like mine, but they have an eye of the Ender on them. When you see them, you must strike them with the sword of healing. It will break the curse, and then you must tell them quickly who you are and that you are helping me restore the kingdom. Lumpy was taking it all in. Sir Joseph was freaking out. It was still really dark in the cabin, in the fortress, the fort of Sir Joseph. Does all of this make sense to you? You will discover these Endermen, and you must travel at night in order to find them, or in dark places. Perhaps Sir Joseph will accompany you on your trip, because it will be dangerous, and you may discover other Endermen. But remember to carve a pumpkin and put it on your head. All of a sudden, Sir Joseph heard, "What? Carve a pumpkin and put it on my head? What on earth are you talking about?" Lumpy turned over to Sir Joseph. "If you put a carved pumpkin on your head, you're invisible to the Enderman. Believe me, I tried it and it works." That's incredible. I've never heard of anything like that, and I've been around a long time in the Minecraft world. Just trust me, I've tried it and it works, Sir Joseph. All right. Well, I'm down for an adventure. That sounds like fun. Oh, this is going to be very dangerous, Sir Joseph. The Enderman King turned to Sir Joseph. But if you help Lumpy Pear on this adventure, I will give you a great reward. Wow, great reward. Treasure. That sounds awesome. So, Sir Joseph agreed to help Lumpy in finding these 12 Endermen and gather these Eyes of Ender, these special Eyes of Ender. I will return and visit you, Lumpy, and Sir Joseph. And maybe you should go back to Anderson's town soon. I hear there's something special there. And as soon as he said that, the Enderman King disappeared. He looked at the infinite Ender Pearl that he had. I can't believe this. This is awesome. What did he say this does? Haven't you ever seen an Ender Pearl? No, of course not. You've never even been to the Nether. You don't even know what a blaze is. Here, give me that. Whoa, I'm not just going to give you something. I just got it. This is really cool. Okay, tell you what. Here's what you do. We apparently need to go back to... Where did he say? Oh, I met this guy. He's got a really cool town. And I think I know what the surprise is. Well, it's getting late, though. And aren't we pretty far? Blockface went back into a torch that Sir Joseph lit. Boo! It freaked Sir Joseph out again. Oh, you got to stop doing that. You look just like a blaze. If you've ever seen a blaze, it's a face and there's fire everywhere. You look like a blaze. Well, I'm not a blaze. And you better listen to Lumpy. He needs your help. And so does the Enderman King. How did you get mixed up with an Enderman King? Not an Enderman King, the Enderman King. He's the king of all Endermen. Well, the only Endermen I've ever met were mean, and they steal things, and they'll hit you, and they hurt, and they disappear, and they reappear, and they just keep hurting everybody. Well, not this guy, and he said that they're all under a spell. I'll tell you more about it tonight. Let's just talk and go to sleep, and we'll see what we'll do in the morning. Well, they talked all through the night. Lumpy told them about all of his adventures, including finding the book, and Trouble, and Nightmare, and Skeleton Canyon, and all of the things that happened. Sir Joseph said, You know, for all of those things that happened, and you don't even have any decent armor, and you only have a sword that heals things, how on earth did you make it this far? And you have golden apples and diamond enchanted swords. This is way beyond your level, man. You're in way over your head. Well, I certainly know that. But I need your help, Sir Joseph. Can you help me? Yeah. All right, well, let's go. The sun's coming up, and we can go down to Anderson Town. All right, let's go. Lumpy opened the door. All of a sudden, an arrow whizzed right past Lumpy's face. It almost went right through his nose. Get down, Sir Joseph said. And then he saw the arrow. It wasn't any arrow. It was a pink arrow. What? Kitty Ranger! What are you doing? Hey, Sir Joseph, who's in your house? I saw somebody come out of your fort that's not you. No, this is Lumpy Pear. He's not a mob. He's not a bad guy. Kitty Ranger, meet Lumpy. Lumpy, meet my sister, Kitty Ranger. She's always shooting first and asking questions later. Psh! You could have taken my nose off. Well, you weren't Sir Joseph, and you were in Sir Joseph's fort. Well, I tell you what, I'll forgive you because I can see what you're saying, but watch it on your bow and arrow skills. Well, that was just a warning shot anyway. I wasn't going to hit you. I know what I'm doing. I've shot arrows before. You should see what I can shoot. Well, we're going on an adventure, and we'll tell you about it on the way, said Sir Joseph. You want to come? Yep, I'm always down for an adventure. So first we need to go down to Anderson Town. Let's go. Oh, I like Anderson Town. They've got good stew. That's right. So Lumpy and Sir Joseph and Kitty Ranger and Blockface all headed back down south to Anderson Town.
I thought Anderson Town was at north.
No, it's south now because they went past it. They went north. Oh. Then it got dark. It got really dark. And Lumpy and Sir Joseph said, perfect. This is a perfect time. Let's hunt some Endermen. Kitty Ranger said, what are you talking about, hunt Endermen? I want to go where it's safe. I like hunting mobs, but I don't look for Endermen to hunt. It's like, no, we're on a special trip, don't you know? And Lumpy's got a magic sword that heals Endermen. Why would we want to heal an Enderman? Just trust us, please. So they walked around all the dark places that they could find. And not a single Enderman. It was getting cold, and it started raining. And Kitty Ranger said, oh boy, this is a fun adventure, isn't it? I can't wait to get some stew from Anderson and his wonderful restaurant. So they went down all the way back to the town and went to an inn where there were beds everywhere. And guess who was behind the counter?
Anderson.
That's right. And they slept for the night. And they talked to Kitty Ranger about the Enderman King. And Sir Joseph decided to play a joke on Kitty Ranger and said, hey, Lumpy, tell your friend Blockface to get in the fire. And Blockface said, I could hear you. But nobody could hear him because he wasn't in the fire. So they went, and Blockface got in the fire. And Kitty Ranger said, oh, it's a blaze. What's a blaze doing out of the nether? And she started shooting arrows all over the inn, breaking windows, smashing furniture. Anderson came in, what's all the racket? It's a blaze! And they started hitting all the torches and all the fires and it actually started a fire. Put it out! Put it out! It's just a joke! I was joking! It's not a blaze. It's a ghost. Apparently you can see when he's in the fire. So they all had a good laugh. And then they all cleaned up the big mess. Kitty Ranger paid for all the damages that she did. And they went back to bed. Even Sir Joseph chipped in a little because he felt bad about the joke. And they all went to bed because it was bedtime. And that's the end of episode 13. Dun, 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 dun.